You walk into a grocery store, head to the seafood counter, and see the usual lineup: salmon, tuna, cod, shrimp, maybe some tilapia, and you assume that's simply what the ocean is. Here's something nobody tells you. There are more than 33,000 species of fish on this planet, and humans regularly eat fewer than 20 of them. That means we are ignoring around 99% of everything the ocean has to offer. And the reason isn't the one you'd guess. Most people assume we just eat what's available or what tastes best. The truth is darker. Some of those fish would wreck your body from the inside. Some would make you violently ill before you left the table. And some were eaten once by ancient humans and then deliberately never touched again. This is the story of why the ocean is full of food we will never eat, and what that quietly reveals about the world beneath the waves. Start with the number: 33,000 species. That's more than all mammals, birds, and reptiles combined. The ocean isn't a desert, it's a jungle. A dense, teeming, impossibly crowded world of life. And yet when researchers look at global seafood consumption, roughly 10 species make up the overwhelming majority of everything humans eat: salmon, tuna, cod, pollock, shrimp, tilapia, catfish, crab, herring, anchovies. That's essentially the whole list. Every strange fin, every deep sea creature, every bright reef fish. Off the menu. Why? The first reason is brutal. Some fish in the ocean are poisonous. Not visibly, not obviously, invisibly, and sometimes lethally. There's a condition called Ciguatera poisoning. You've probably never heard of it, but it has been tormenting humans for thousands of years. Certain reef fish, barracuda, snapper, grouper, amberjack, feed on smaller fish that graze on toxic algae. The toxin doesn't harm the fish. It builds up silently in their flesh. Then a human eats it, and within hours the body starts doing things that sound impossible. Cold objects feel scalding hot. Fingertips tingle and go numb. Muscles ache as if you'd run a marathon. The heartbeat turns irregular. In severe cases, paralysis sets in. The terrifying part is that you cannot detect Ciguatera by smell or taste, and you cannot cook it out. And you can't detect heat does nothing to it. There's no antidote. The World Health Organization estimates that tens of thousands of people are poisoned by it every year, and because there's no practical way to test a fish before eating it, entire categories of reef fish are quietly avoided. Not by law, by memory, by generations who learned the hard way. The ocean taught our ancestors this lesson once, and they never forgot it. But that's only half the story, because even fish that don't poison you immediately can still damage your body slowly. This is bioaccumulation. Picture a tiny shrimp absorbing a trace of mercury from the water. A small fish eats as 100 shrimp. A bigger fish eats 100 small fish. A shark eats 100 big fish. At every step, the mercury concentrates. By the time a large predator sits at the top, its flesh can carry mercury levels vastly higher than the water around it. This is exactly why health agencies formally warn pregnant women away from shark, swordfish, king mackerel, and tilefish. The FDA issued those warnings after studies confirmed the pattern. The bigger the predatory fish, the more dangerous it becomes. That single biological fact removed whole categories of ocean life from the human menu. Shark meat in particular is so loaded with mercury and urea that regular consumption is genuinely harmful. Ancient coastal communities knew to avoid certain fish. They just didn't know why. Now we do. And the reason is worse than they imagined. Then it gets stranger, because some fish don't poison you slowly. They ruin your day quickly, in a very specific and very humiliating way. Meet the escala, a sleek, deep-water fish, sometimes sold in restaurants as white tuna. It looks clean, tastes rich and buttery, and was briefly popular in the United States. Japan banned it back in 1977. Italy banned it in 2002. Why? Escala's flesh is packed with wax esters, a type of fat your body simply cannot break down because human digestion has no enzyme for it. So the body's solution is immediate and unpleasant. Within hours, most people experience what doctors politely call an oily, uncontrollable gastrointestinal discharge. In food circles, the fish earned a nickname, the X-lax fish. People describe a single serving as one of the worst experiences of their lives. The fish wasn't trying to hurt anyone. Its body just stores a fat the human gut was never built for. And escala isn't unique. Dozens of deep-sea fish contain compounds and fats that human digestion was never designed to handle. The ocean evolved these creatures for a world your body knows nothing about, which brings us to where most of the ocean's life actually lives. Because you're only ever seeing the surface. The ocean covers 70% of the Earth, and about 95% of its total livable volume lies in the deep sea, below 200 meters. Down there, it's pitch black. The pressure would crush a human in seconds. The temperature sits just above freezing, and the animals look like nightmares. Blobfish, barrel eyes, fangtooth, viperfish. But here's what nobody mentions. The deep sea isn't just hard to reach. Much of it is inedible. Many deep sea fish have soft, gelatinous flesh adapted to extreme pressure. The moment they're hauled up, that pressure drops, their cells start breaking down, and the flesh turns soft and waterlogged. Some species partly dissolve within hours of death. Researchers who've tried eating deep sea specimens describe the texture as something close to wet tissue paper. There's an entire parallel world of life down there, and none of it is on your plate, because it was never meant to be. So why the 20 species we do eat? The answer isn't really about taste. It's about survival economics. The fish humans built their diets around, salmon, tuna, cod, herring, all share traits. They swim in large, dense schools near the surface. They're easy to catch in high volume. Their flesh is calorie-rich and keeps well when dried or salted. Ancient fishing communities all over the world independently converged on the same small handful of species because those were the ones that made the danger of going to sea worth it. Early European accounts of the North Atlantic cod fishery claimed the fish were so dense you could almost walk across the water. That's why cod fed Europe for centuries. Not because it was the tastiest fish in the sea, but because it was the most catchable. The same logic held everywhere humans met the ocean. What ended up on our plates isn't the best the ocean offers. It's the most economically rational subset a person with a hand-woven net could pull from shallow water 10,000 years ago. And we've simply never revisited that decision. And here's the part that stays with you. Right now, the ocean is in crisis. And the 20 species we chose out of 33,000 are the ones being fished toward collapse. North Atlantic cod crashed so severely in the 1990s that Canada shut down the entire fishery, one that had fed Europe for roughly 500 years. Atlantic bluefin tuna populations fell dramatically under industrial fishing. Wild salmon runs across the Pacific, sighed at historic lows. And all the while, we're surrounded by nearly 33,000 other species. Many abundant, many nutritious, many sitting completely untouched beneath the surface. We built our food system 10,000 years ago. We chose our fish based on what a person with a simple net could drag from shallow water, and we never changed our minds. Not because the ocean ran out of options, but because we never thought to look past the 20 we already knew. The ocean didn't fail us. We just stopped asking what else was out there. Right now, in cold, dark water, in places no net has ever reached, in schools of millions no human has ever seen, the rest of the ocean is still waiting. We just forgot it existed. The only real question is whether we remember in time.